Hi, this lesson is about the present perfect. I have worked. Hola, esta lección es sobre el pretérito perfecto. Hi, welcome again to Spanish for London. My name is Laura, and in today's lesson we will study the present perfect, which is in our language el pretérito perfecto. This is a past tense. As you can see in our first example, I have finished my homework. Yo he terminado mis deberes. Remember that I put the yo into brackets because most of the time we drop this and we say only he terminado mis deberes. Okay, as you can see, this is a past tense. That's why we say pretérito. Remember that pretérito in many languages, not only in Spanish, means past. So past and preterite are strictly synonyms. They mean exactly the same. But in English we say present perfect. So this could be a little misleading, a little confusing, because you see that in English we say present perfect and in Spanish we say pretérito perfecto, which means past. So what's the question here? The question is that when we use this tense, the action actually happened in the past, but this was done or was performed recently, and the effect of the action is still present. Suppose that I say, oh, I have eaten too much chocolate, so I don't want to eat anything else today. So I have eaten chocolate in the past, but recently, so now in the present, I don't want to eat anything else. Do you see? That's the reason why in English we say present, but in Spanish we say pretérito. It's exactly the same tense. Okay, and the form is really similar, so it's very easy to form this tense. So I have finished my homework is yo he terminado mis deberes. Now, for this, we use an auxiliary verb. As in English we use the verb to have as an auxiliary verb, and then we use the main verb. Why do we say the main verb? Because in this verb we have the meaning of the action involved in the sentence. So yo he doesn't mean anything. I have to say, or I have done what? I have to put another verb to say which is the action involved. So this is the main verb. So we have to put el verbo haber, the verb for to have, and then the main verb. So let's go with the verb haber, which is to have as an auxiliary verb. We say yo he, tú has, él, ella, usted ha, nosotros, nosotras hemos, vosotros, vosotras habéis, ellos, ellas, ustedes, han. And then I have to put the second verb, the main verb, in a particular form. Okay, in English, when this form is regular, the ending is ed. Do you see? I have finished, I have worked, I have walked, etc. So in Spanish, when this form is regular, the equivalent to the ed form ends with ado for verbs ending in ar, or in ido for verbs ending in er or ir. Suppose that I want to say I have finished. So I take the verb terminar, to finish, I drop the ending, which is ar, and I replace it by ado. Okay, yo he terminado. I have finished. Suppose that I want to say you have learned this lesson. For example, aprender is to learn, so I drop the er ending and I replace it by ido. So I say, you have learned this lesson. Tú has, you have learned, aprendido esta lección. Okay? And the same for verbs ending in ir. Drop the ending and put ido. So, if you want to say he has lived in Japan for a long time, you say él, he, ha vivido, he has lived for a long time, mucho tiempo, en Japón, in Japan. Okay, so now you have all the elements to form your regular pretérito perfecto, el pretérito perfecto regular. So again, now you are able to use a new tense. For example, suppose that you are talking about where do I live, a very common topic in GCSE. You have to explain where do you live, how is your house, your neighborhood, and your region, and so on. So you can say, for example, ahora vivo en Londres, pero he vivido en España. So in this simple phrase, I am using two tenses, vivo, which is a simple present, and he vivido, which is the present perfect or pretérito perfecto. So now I live in London, ahora vivo en Londres, but I have lived in Spain, pero he vivido en España. Okay? Remember that you will find a lesson about this, how to use the two tenses, the present and the present perfect, in your list of topics. And of course, I will be speaking in Spanish and providing you examples about a particular GCSE topic. Okay, so now we know that to form the pretérito perfecto, we say, for example, for I have finished, he terminado. So the terminado part is finished. As you know, in English, when I say I have finished, we have the ed ending for regular forms. But sometimes in some verbs, we have an irregular form. When I say I have understood, we don't say I have understanded. So the form doesn't end with ed, but is irregular. Well, same happens in Spanish. In this tense, we have some irregular endings. But fortunately, they are easy to remember because most of them end with to. Okay, so let's see now the irregular forms. I wrote the irregular forms in orange, en naranja, and then I wrote some examples in blue, algunos ejemplos en azul. So, we have basically the main verb for the present perfect ending with to for irregular verbs. For example, for the verb abrir, which is to open, we have abierto. So if I want to say I have opened the window, I say yo he abierto la ventana. I have opened the window. He abierto la ventana. Then for cubrir, which is to cover, is cubierto. Do you see? T-O. For escribir, to write, es escrito. So I have written that, he escrito eso. For morir, to die, es muerto. So when I want to say he has died, él ha muerto. Por poner, to put, we say puesto. For resolver, to solve, resuelto. So I have solved my activities for math, for example. So he resuelto my math exercises, mis ejercicios de matemática. I have solved them, los he resuelto. For romper, which is to break, we have roto. So, oh my gosh, I have broken the glass. Dios mío, he roto el vaso. I have broken, he roto. Then, for ver, which is to see, we have visto. So, I have seen my friend yesterday. He visto a mi amiga ayer. He visto, I have seen. Y for volver, which is to return, to come back, we have vuelto. So I have returned home late. He vuelto a casa tarde. Okay, then of course, if you have a verb like poner, which is to put, and the irregular form is puesto, when you have a verb like componer, which is compose, the irregular form will be compuesto. Or for example, if you have cubrir, which is to cover, and the form is cubierto, for descubrir, which is to discover, the form will be descubierto. Okay? sorry. Then we have two very important verbs ending with CHO, which are decir, to say, the form is dicho, and hacer, to do or to make, the form is hecho. So if I want to say, I have said this to my mom, le he dicho esto a mi madre. Or I have done my homework, he hecho mis deberes. And finally, we have the verb for to print, imprimir, which takes SO, so it's impreso. I have printed the activities, he impreso las actividades. So you have to remember these irregular forms because you will be using these forms not only in this tense, but also in other tenses where you need this as a main verb following the verb to have. So remember these forms is not a big deal because you have less than 15 words to remember. So let's see some examples now. I have seen this film. He visto esta película. My cat has died yesterday. Mi gato ha muerto ayer. He has put the books on the shelf. Él ha puesto los libros en el estante. Remember also that I said here, él ha puesto los libros on the shelf. En el estante. Remember that you have a lesson which is prepositions of place, where I teach you everything about how to say on, under, upstairs, downstairs, on the right, on the left, behind, in front of, etc. Vocab that you need to describe your photos in your photo card activities. Okay? So now you are able to speak using all the forms in the present perfect. Remember to refer to the lesson called How to Use Two Tenses, the present and the present perfect, to start using them to talk and to write. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. See you next class. Este es el final de la clase. Nos vemos la próxima.